Building talent and enhancing yourself constantly is now become an essential leadership competency. Hello, this is Kathy and I welcome you to Grey Edge. Grey Edge is a platform that can transform your capacity to produce, support your career aspirations, and prepare you for the next level. Employees getting upgraded help their organizations grow at remarkable levels, and people who don't, well, they miss a great opportunity to make a tremendous impact. So let's start upgrading ourselves with the new features in Revit MEP 2019. The key features that we are going to focus on are direction arrows on duct and pipe connectors, change service in MEP fabrication, change size in MEP fabrication, filters with MEP fabrication, improved filter rules, and parallel pump analysis. So let's start with the very first enhancement, that is the additional directions into duct and pipe connectors. In Revit 2019, when we select a mechanical equipment and click on Connect into tool, we shall be able to see the flow indicators for each of the connectors, which will help us quickly identify the flow direction for MEP element connectors from the list. So let's start with an example here. So I shall just go to this particular project. We have a project which is pre-created, having some duct connections and pipe connections and also some mechanical equipments. So I shall just zoom into this particular mechanical equipment. I'll select it, go to the ribbon, click on Connect into Tool. I'll click on Connect into Tool and we get a list of all the connectors here. This list of connectors was also seen in the previous versions, but now we can have a visual appearance of the flow arrows showing that this particular connector has to be connected in which direction. That is, if I'm clicking the supply air flow direction out, we can see that the flow direction arrow is seen in the outward direction. If I click on return air, you can see the flow direction going inwards. So yes, a visual appearance of these connectors is really a nice feature. In this list, we can see that there is flow direction out and flow direction in, but also the arrows over here are helpful for us to see that in which direction they are again getting connected. So I shall again select another equipment here. I'll select it, go to the Connect into tool. Again we have a list of all the connectors listed here, and if I click on this particular connector, that is supply flow direction out, we can see a flow direction arrow as a graphical appearance in the screen. Again, if I click on the other connector, that is flow direction in, we can see a graphical appearance of the flow direction arrow pointing inwards. So yes, this is a very good option and helpful for us to understand where the ducts and pipes are going to get connected, whether the direction is outside or inside. The next improvement that Revit 2019 has added is the change of service in MEP fabrication. In Revit 2019, we can now easily change the service of existing MEP fabrication elements which are converted from design to fabrication or created in fabrication itself without deleting or redrawing them all over again. That is, if I already have a particular duct connection created in MEP fabrication, I don't have to delete and redraw it. I can just select and change the service at any time. So let's see an example here. I'll select this particular network of duct here using a tab key, or we can also select them using a control key. So I'll just hover a particular duct and press tab, click on it to get it selected in a network. I'll go to the ribbon and click on Change Service. As soon as I click on Change Service, we can see that in the MEP Fabrication Parts palette on the right, there is an option for changing the service here. So under the service drop down, we can just go here and change any service that is needed. Now these services are only selected or only seen here if these services are preloaded. That is, you have to preload these ductwork services in a previous step. So I'll just select this particular ductwork service. That is, I can change to any service that I want. The earlier one was 1500 pascals and now I'm changing it to 2500 pascals. I'll click on finish in the ribbon here. And now we shall just select the ductwork again and we can see that the ductwork has been changed to the selected service. Similarly, we can do the same things for the pipes too. We can select all the pipes here, like I'll just select the pipe in a network using the tab key. As the accessories are also selected, I'll just filter them. Now again I'll go to change service in the ribbon, and on the right hand side again under the MEP fabrication parts we can simply change the service of the pipes that are selected. So yes, this is a very good option, very good enhancement that we can do, and we can simply change the service without redrawing them. After changing the service, we can just click on the finish icon here at the bottom, or we can click on the finish icon here in the ribbon. The next new feature is that the change of size in MEP fabrication. As we had changed the service, we can also change the sizes of the fabrication parts quickly without deleting or redrawing them all over again. So yes, again we shall select this particular network of ducts using a tab key as we had previously done. Again we shall just go to the ribbon and we have one more option here, that is change size. So I can quickly click on this option, that is change size. Again on the right hand side under MEP fabrication parts palette we can see all the ducts which are listed here in different sizes. If we hover on any of these sizes, the ducts are highlighted as per their sizes on the screen. If I want to simply change the size of any ductwork, I can just click here on the size and change the duct size as needed. Further, after we have done the things, we can just click on this finish icon at the bottom or click on the finish icon on the ribbon. We shall just check now whether the duct size is changed or not. So we'll select this duct and go to the properties here, and we can see that the duct size has been changed. Similarly, we can do the step on the pipes too. That is, we can select the pipes using the tab key, that is the network of pipes, or we can also select them using the control key. Click on change size in the ribbon. And again, if I'm just going to MEP fabrication parts palette, we can change the size of the pipe as needed. Again, when we are done with it, we can just click on the finish icon that is in the ribbon. The next new enhancement that has been added is the filters with MEP fabrication. This enhancement focuses on the extended feature of the MEP fabrication categories that has been added to visibility graphics and filters too. That is, we can now apply the filters to the MEP fabrication parts and thus change its visibility or graphics. So let's see an example here. We shall just go to the View tab, Graphics panel, Filters. I'll create a new filter here and just name it as, say, MEP Fabrication Ductwork. Further, I shall just click on OK. Under the filter list, we shall just check whether the mechanical option is activated. Under the categories, here we shall select MEP fabrication ductwork. So yes, this is the enhancement that the MEP fabrication parts have been added into the category list in filters. So let's go to the filter rules and I'll select the property here as say system type equals the supply and I'll click on OK. Further, to apply the filter, we shall go to Visibility Graphics, Filters tab, click on Add, select the filter that we just created and click on OK. Further, we shall just go to Patterns, change the pattern here and also the color. Further, to apply it, we'll select Apply and OK, and we can see that the ductwork has changed its graphics. That is, now we can add our MEP fabrication parts into the filters and further change their visibility or graphics as needed. Further, we shall create one more filter. I'll again go to Filters and create a new filter similar to MEP fabrication ductwork. I'll just name it as MEP Fabrication Pipes. Again, under categories, we shall select MEP Fabrication Pipework. Further, under the properties, we shall select System Type equals CHW return. I'll click on OK. Again, to apply the filter, we shall go to Visibility Graphics, Filters tab and add the filter that we just created, that is MEP Fabrication Pipe. Under the Patterns, we shall override the pattern and also give a color to it. Further, we shall just see here that the entire pipework, which is having CHW return as a property, is getting changed its graphics. The next new feature that we are going to discuss further is the improved filter rules added in Revit 2019. Filter is a tool which is used to filter the elements in the project using the rules laid and further change the graphics or visibility of the filtered elements. So yes, now we can add rules to our filters too. So let's see an example here. So I shall just go to the View tab, Graphics panel, Filters, again create a new filter here. I'll name it as MEP Fabrication Pipe System. Further, we shall select MEP Fabrication Pipework as our category. Now under the rules, what we see here is the rule added in 2019. So we can see that and all rules have been added in 2019 to deeply filter our objects and to change it in visibility and graphics. So this time under the filter rules, we are just selecting the and rule. Under the properties, I'm just going to select fabrication service equals piping welded and threaded. Also add one more rule, that is the system type equals the CHW supply. So I have added two rules with system type as CHW supply and fabrication service as piping welded and threaded. So I shall just click on OK, and to apply the filter, we'll again go to Visibility Graphics, Filters tab, add this filter that we just created and change the graphics here. Under the patterns, we shall select solid fill and also we shall change the color here. Okay. Now what we see here is a network of pipe placed here is colored, has changed its graphics, but the other network has not. So let's check the properties of this particular network of pipe. I'll select it, go to properties, and when we see here that what is the specification, what is the fabrication service given here, so it's piping welded and threaded. Again, the system type is CHW supply. But now when I click on this particular pipe, what we see is fabrication service is still piping welded and threaded, but the system type is CHW return. So under the AND rule, both the rules specified should match for it to get its graphics changed or to get its visibility changed. So again, we shall just go to filters. This time we shall just select our filter and change the rule to OR. Let's see what happens here. When I click on OK, you can see that both the networks of pipes have changed their graphics. That means in OR rule, any one property can match for it to change its graphics or for to change its visibility. So yes, 2019 has added some features into filters, that is their rules, which can help us deeply filter our objects. The next new enhancement that we are going to focus on is related to the parallel pump analysis. Now we can add or remove pumps in a mechanical equipment set operating in parallel conditions. When we create a mechanical set, we can specify the number of on-duty pumps and the number of pumps on standby. So let's see an example here. I shall just go to this particular level here. We can see that there are some pumps which are connected here parallelly. I'll select a pump here. Just go to the ribbon into Piping Systems tab. System Tools panel, I'll click on Edit System. Further, we can see that there is no option over here coming to add my pumps into a set. So yes, before creating a parallel set, that is before adding our pumps into a set, we shall do a setting which we need to do. We shall just go to Systems tab, Mechanical Settings. Under Mechanical Settings, we have Pipe Settings. Under that, we have Calculations. Into that, we shall click on this option, that is Enable Analysis for Closed Loop Hydronic Piping Networks. So this is an option that we need to enable to keep our pumps into a set. This option is by default activated if you start a new project in Revit 2019. But if you open an existing project that is created in the earlier version, we have to do this manually. That is, we have to enable this manually. So this is very important. We have to enable this, or else we cannot create a set of the pumps. So I'll enable this and click on OK. Further, I shall just select this particular pump. Go to the Piping Systems tab, System Tools panel, Edit System, and now what we see is the Parallel Sets panel, which is now added. Yes, this is an enhancement, that is, we get a Parallel Sets panel where we can add our pumps into the set. I'll click on Add to Set and I'll add all the pumps into a particular set. So I'm adding the third one and I'm adding the fourth one. So all the 4 pumps have been added into a set. And what we have over here is the on-duty pump and on-standby pump. So right now all the 4 pumps are on duty. Let's change this to 2. And what we see is on-standby pumps automatically change to 2. We don't have to change it manually. So I can specify that how many pumps I want to put in on duty and on standby. So let's keep this as 3 and this as 1. After doing all the changes, we'll click on Finish Editing Systems in the ribbon, and we hover over this particular pump. What we see is a particular boundary that comes over around the pumps. This is a boundary which is showing that all the 4 pumps are in a set, and again it also shows me the detail of the name, that is pump set 1, on duty 3 and on standby 1. When I click on the set, in the properties we get on duty and on standby pumps, which can be edited as needed anytime. Yes, also we can change the name of the pump set under identity data. Further, if we deselect, we are not having a particular boundary which is showing that this is a pump set, or a boundary which is showing that this particular 4 pumps are in one set. So to edit the boundary, that is edit the boundary of showing that the pumps are into a set or not, we shall just go to View tab, Graphics panel, Visibility Graphics, Annotation Categories. Further, yes, we can see that they are frozen here. So what we shall do is, we shall just go to the Properties, View Template. Under the template, we shall make the changes, that is I'll go to Visibility Graphics Annotations, and under this list we shall just search for Mechanical Equipment Set Boundary. So yes, right now this is deactivated. We can activate it or deactivate it as we need. So if we activate it, we can see a boundary around our sets by default. So we can control the visibility of the boundary through Visibility Graphics, Annotation Categories, Mechanical Set Boundaries. Further, we can easily select them and change the properties as needed. Yes, so that's all about the new features in Revit MEP 2019. So here I conclude saying that we can always increase our success by adopting the culture of always being updated to the upcoming technology. Hope you find this content very useful, and this will surely improve your production workflow in Revit. Please stay in touch and check all the upcoming content. With that, this is Khyati thanking you for checking in here. Have a nice day.